You're right there. It's not really. You don't even really have to look at it.
Do I want to make eye contact? Like,
constantly. You want them to know you're paying attention. And you want us to do something with those eyes.
Do I want the one eyebrow over here?
Can you hold it for the whole hour?
I might be able to.
So I one way to find out.
Can you keep it up enough for the entire hour?
Possibly.
I've never been able to. Maybe a minute and a half.
Oh shit, we're
Very
live.
disappointing.
I see us.
Oh shit.
Oh, welcome back everybody. Tim on the Shit Show with your co-host Mike Bergowski, and we have our special guest today.
Hello, gentlemen.
Joe Tysowich.
I was gonna say I don't remember how to pronounce his last name. I'm 6 different ways.
It is Tysowich, right?
It's definitely Tysowich.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Mike. Co-host
Good
Mike.
job, Mikey
Yep,
B.
yep.
Coming in with the save.
Oh yeah, the person I've known for many, many years, or at least 3. How long have I known you?
Probably more than 3.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm thinking 6.
I have no idea.
Maybe 5.
No, it's
5
gotta
or
be
6, 7.
5 or 6 because I worked at Jimmy John's.
I know that I knew him
7 years
when
ago?
Machida beat Shogun for the title in that shitty decision because I was over at O'Day's house drinking with him.
Yeah,
Excellent.
that was like 5.
Well, technically, I guess it was Mark's house, but whatever.
That was about 5 years ago. So
That was about 5 years ago.
Oh, that was right. It was you, O'Day, and Mark all in that house.
yeah, Machida's the karate guy, right?
Yeah.
I remember I lost money to O'Day on that one.
I don't remember the loss of money.
Oh,
but
I do.
Yeah.
I remember all of my losses, which are many, I mind you.
So you guys all worked at the same Jimmy John's together then.
Yeah, with Timmy and I guess Steve didn't work there, but we met Steve at that time, or I met
okay.
Steve through Tim and O'Day.
Tim Johnson?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I
Is that
referred to him
the-
as Irish Tim.
Yeah, he moved to Ireland, didn't
Yep.
he? Okay, that
Cool
would
guy.
explain
Real
the
cool guy.
Irish Tim part.
Yes. You know, he's not Irish at all.
He's
Well,
Irish.
no.
He's Irish now.
Now he is.
I guess he
Get
is.
any more Irish than...
Well, I guess when you're on, was it like Irish welfare or whatever it is? He only did have a job for a while. It's not.
So, how does that work over there? Did
I
he
have no
explain?
fucking idea.
You just get a passport and show up and get paid.
That's
I'm
right.
in Ireland.
And everybody complains that, oh man, all these people come in just for the... Well, we're sending
Yeah.
some out. Tim has been over there.
Although Tim now isn't, he works on the show Vikings, and he might be able to get a job on Game of Thrones.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty damn cool.
Yep.
How do you land that?
I think he was at like a bar or a coffee shop. They're
right.
like, hey, we're doing an open casting call for Vikings. You should probably try out. You look like you could be one of them. And so then he did.
You totally look like a Viking, dude.
Yeah, they're like, hey, we're
does,
doing
though.
a casting call down the street. You should probably come out for that because you would get it. And then he did.
Excellent.
I know it's an
haven't-
excitingly
have you
thrilling
actually-
story.
Have you seen the episode where he's in?
I've never seen a single episode of that show.
Me.
I keep meaning to, and I'm going to, but I'm behind on everything.
Yeah, you
I'm
are
still in
behind.
episode 2 of Making a Murderer.
I was going to
just
say,
the
we've
same
been
as last
bitching
week.
about- You're on 5?
So don't blow it. I'm on
I'm
5.
not gonna blow it.
I had to
Hey,
stop because
They
I was
make
getting,
a murderer.
I was
Yeah,
getting
apparently a
kinda
murderer
angry.
gets made.
I was getting
Yeah.
kind of frustrated watching that show.
Oh yeah,
He was
everyone.
saying he gets
I
frustrated.
keep having to stop watching it because I get so angry. I'm
Yeah.
like, this can't be an actual thing that's happening. It seems like a bad plot from a show because it seems so unrealistic.
Right.
Like, oh, I can't get into this because this kind of stuff doesn't happen.
Like, how can anybody believe all the bullshit? Yeah.
And yet there it is. And mind you, I'm only in episode 2. I heard it gets 1,000 times worse.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. It gets bogus. Very, very bogus. And you know what, though? There's a part of me that can't help but think that potentially this is all just like he is guilty as fuck. And there's like a bunch of shit that didn't make it into the documentary.
Oh, he might
Yeah.
be. I saw the people that made the documentary on the Daily Show the other day, and they're talking about the fact that they were really trying hard not to it wasn't supposed to be about whether or not he was guilty. It was supposed to be an indictment of how the legal system works and how some of the shady stuff that goes on there, just kind of him as the subject to show some of the shady stuff that goes on, not whether or not he's guilty or innocent, which
Gotcha.
obviously clearly, because I'm not through it, but apparently everyone thinks he's innocent, so, whether or not he is guilty or innocent, because I think his ex-wife came out and said he was like a really bad guy and stuff like that. Not the good guy they're portraying him as.
Yeah.
Which they clearly do go out of their way to portray him as a good guy.
Would you leave him with your child?
No. I wouldn't want to be alone with him. But the man spent 18 years in prison at least.
Clearly.
Not including the most recent murder-related
He
one.
recognizes a nice piece of ass when he's eating.
Yeah.
Clearly, he's not very smart. That's
yeah.
Number one.
The man looks like he has the body shape of an egg. Like it's kind of like a Humpty Dumpty cartoon almost. It's very odd.
Did you work with a Scott Allen at that place at Jimmy John?
He was over there.
He was over there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember I saw him a couple times. And
I don't know that name. Scott Allen.
We went to high school with him.
That would be how.
He was
okay.
He was in a band called, I think, a big Mess.
He's had a couple
or
bands.
Like several bands, yeah.
And that may have been one. Yeah, it probably was one of them. I know him and his brother are big musicians, and I think their dad is too.
Yeah, I think it was him and his dad and maybe brother as the band.
Are they famous in any way? Like, do they do it for a living, or is that kind of a hobby?
I think it's kind of like a side job. I guess you could say it's probably more of a hobby, I would imagine, from what I know of it. But I know they did get pretty... I knew other people who also knew of their band and were fans of their band. So I think like most musicians, I don't know that there's like a living, like I can just do this and that's it.
Yeah.
I think everybody's kind of has to have like two things going.
Yeah, I know very few musicians. Like my buddy Nick I was telling you about, he's in a band, but his main job is to runs a recording studio.
Okay.
So I mean, he does. I don't know how much band makes, but
he could get this damn podcast in ship shape.
Oh yeah, I mean, just over his house is like the setup is pretty nice.
You mean better than this setup?
I've never seen.
Have you not seen the soundboard?
I've never seen.
Look at it. There is at least 30 dials on that thing.
That's not a bad soundboard.
Yeah. We don't even know what they do.
Not a clue. Some are white, some are blue, some are red. They don't seem to be in any particular order.
I know whatever it is, Mike's microphone has got an echo in it that I can hear like a hallway.
Yeah? Really?
It just seems like it. Maybe my headset's
Are you
up
hearing an
too
echo?
high.
I'm not hearing an echo.
I don't hear an echo.
I think it's just you.
Echo.
Yeah, maybe it's just
Echo.
me. Oh, you know what I think it is? Hollow ears. That's what it is. I have really wide ears.
That's weird.
I know. I had tubes in them, and I think they got real wide, and now they're echoing. I have no scientific evidence to back
then
this
why
up
is it just
whatsoever.
me that's echoing?
Something special about your voice, I would assume.
Something
If
from your
you-
past.
If you think
Something
about
you tried to block out, but is now coming to the surface.
you guys ever see
I raped you in a cave. What?
You ever see the MythBusters where they like find resonance frequencies of like bridges and things?
Yeah, with the
Where they-
Tesla thing.
Yeah, they put like a thing on the bridge, and if you fit the right frequency, like the whole bridge like vibrates to the point
and
where
it did do that.
right, and they're like, we need to shut this down because this is dangerous.
Yeah,
so
that was a good ass show.
Mike's voice is just in that.
He's got it in the right
So it's
resonance
like a
frequency.
Tesla voice? I
Yes.
like that.
Yeah, because they were testing the Tesla
Great scientist, great
earthquake
car.
machine,
Yeah, I think that was it.
and it was
God,
just
I love Tesla.
it was like a box with
Nikola
a little weight
Tesla.
on it, and if it vibrated at the right frequency and matched the resonance of the bridge,
Right.
then the bridge would become destabilized.
How about like that one episode of The Fringe I saw, that if you vibrate something at the right frequency, you can pass through solid matter. Is that also true?
It could be, and back in high school we had this.
No, it probably can't be. It was on
Potentially.
Fringe.
Well, was that there was an algebra teacher at Franklin High School, Mr. Probelski.
I never had him.
I remember it. But he used to tell us that he used to tell me in particular that if I poked my head like this enough times, the molecules would line up and my finger would go right through my skull. So there were, needless to say, I didn't get much algebra done, but I did develop a slight lump on my head.
Is that why it slopes?
That is exactly why it's my crooked face.
I'm going to
Bring it up.
I've been working on this complex on him since high school. It's like saying you just keep planting the seeds and eventually you get to sow them.
Yeah,
He's going to lose his mind.
What happened, Joe, is what Mike did is we were at the gym one day, and I was looking in the gym, and my face slopes to one side. This has always been the case.
He
And
thinks that now.
we were working
his
out one
face. Isn't it
time,
weird?
and then
Get a ruler
I
I mean,
looked
the
at
mouth is at one end.
Yep.
The other part of the mouth is like down here. It's like he had a stroke.
it was at
it's
just the right
constant.
angle, and yeah,
Probably
it's
had his
fucked
head
with me ever
turned.
since.
No. I think it is one of your ears is slightly lower than the other one, and it just kind of creates an optical illusion.
I think if you look closely, everybody's face has something similar. Like my neck actually is like really bad, where like I don't know.
It curves around. I can see that.
No, I mean it's like if I sit up straight, like one side is in balance, probably from lots of keyboard and mouse use, and then working out like
or
right-handed.
keyboard and something else use.
Yeah, you got to be multi.
I don't get it.
No,
he's right-handed,
you
but
you got to change that up.
Man's got skills.
Change it up.
So you've got a big background in the fitness industry. Why don't you tell everybody kind of what your background is?
So my background is mostly in human nutrition and some focus on personal training. Right now I work in the public health area, so it's not as active in what I would like to do is like work individually with people, but what I do in more broad sense is develop and promote public health through certifying and testing products.
Oh, okay.
But as a hobby, I guess my overall like life purpose is just promoting health and fitness and any way I can, and hopefully like people around me kind of catch on to that.
I feel like he's insulting me right now. It's feeling very personal.
Was he looking at you when he kept saying
some people would catch on as I look around here at all the people.
They say one in three.
1 in 3 people don't have a good
I see how it is. Just because my blood is mostly cheese at this point.
You were a fan of cheese.
I love cheese so much.
I remember
more than I should.
It's delicious. We used to get pizza. He would always want to do. I'm a sauce person too. I got to have an equal number of sauce and cheese.
I don't like sauce.
This fucker would order a pizza and it would be like sauceless.
No,
like
it wouldn't be
sauceless.
Cheese. Light sauce. You want the flavor. You just don't want the actual sauce. And it would be double cheese. I'm not insane. If you order triple cheese, they show up that door and they look at you weird. It's never the same again after that.
They put you on. He's saying you're blacklisted.
No. It's some sort of list. Probably not black. It's like fat listed or something. I don't know.
Sorry, sir. You are too fat to receive this pizza.
Well, you're too fat to receive one pizza. You got to order at least 3 at a time. We will not
you're
deliver.
On bulk menu.
Yeah, there's an extra service fee for delivering to your kind.
Domino's are such dicks.
Joe, what do you think about these guys? Like, what is your opinion on CrossFit?
So, I like the concept a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The problem I've seen with some of their workouts are like just weird things where you are doing deadlift for speed, like which is just a weird thing.
Right.
I think because deadlifts are pretty complicated exercise that you have to pay a lot of attention to, and if you are trying to rush from one exercise to another, you're probably not going to pay attention to the form, and like you can really hurt yourself with some of the movements. So I've never gone to the gym, and I'm assuming they focus on form. At least I know some of the gyms will focus a lot on forms because you're basically doing a lot of Olympic lifts, which are really good for like overall strengthening and like a clean and press. But I very rarely see people do at my gym or anywhere a deadlift and the clean and press properly. So I'm assuming, I think how they try to get you in the door is like, oh, look at all this cool stuff. And I'm not sure if they teach the technique
the right way,
because you have to be. I mean, you have to train with like one-on-one with a coach. I rarely do. I've never even tried the clean and press because I don't have confidence in my ability to do it myself. So although you can mimic the movements, I do something similar in my training, but I don't do the as big of a combo. So like clean and press is the combination of you using most of the muscles in your body. But the overall concept is good because it's very functional. It's just, I don't know, some of it is a little bit hype, and you don't want to do like, if you remember P90X, they did like some clapping push-ups and stuff where it's like, that's cool, but it's like, don't do that, because as a training program,
right,
you don't like, it's cool to show off, but like you could clap and miss and hit your face and hurt yourself. So like, what's the point?
Yeah, I think I see what you're saying, and it seems to me you're right. It's a lot of people who, I know guys who have like done Olympic lifting like in college and stuff like that, and it's not really like a one week or 2 week instructional period thing.
Right.
There's like a long development of this is how you do this lift, this is how you execute it. And then even then, they're not doing like, 100 clean and presses and then
Right.
going to do pull-ups on top of it.
and then trying to do it for speed or something like.
Right.
It's very good to have a challenge in your workout, but I know a lot of people who never have worked out and have joined CrossFit. I'm like, I wouldn't recommend doing that. So
Right.
In a regular
DeCarlo.
I don't know who you're referring to by that. I know DeCarla.
Carla. So yeah,
call her
like
that.
in a
She'll like it.
if you follow the personal training method or like the scientific method of approach, you have to build core strength first for anything. So you do a lot of functional tests. If you were to train like from scratch, a lot of functional movements. Make sure you don't have left-right imbalances. Like I've said, I've developed a lot of left-right imbalances that are pretty challenging to correct because you almost need somebody like personal trainer. They're saying like, oh yeah,
Right.
you're slightly off on one side, so to counter that is strengthen the other side that's weaker. It's a little hard to plan that out because then you have to do like more reps on one side
Sure.
or other. But developing the core strength should be the root goal. So instead of CrossFit, somebody coming in, you'd be making them do sit-ups and core work until you have a stable core, because otherwise you could really hurt your back, lower back, or give yourself a hernia trying to pick
Right.
up, do a deadlift or something that's way too much.
What if you want to get a hernia? What do you say to those people?
Just do the workout of the day at like whatever the one I saw was 270 deadlift at 275 max speed reps or
As much
something.
speed as
Makes sense.
Right.
All right. I got a plan for next time I go to the gym.
So just
in 2.5 weeks.
no, you should actually
All right.
step it up and try like 325. Like don't
Damn right I will.
Go
And the
big or go home.
275 for pussies.
do 325 for speed, minimal rest,
No rest. Thank you.
and make sure to really wrench on that lower back. It just,
Well, I know you need a twisting, jerking motion.
Yeah.
I've lifted before. Come on now. Take the legs out of the equation. Put it all on your back and neck.
Joe, what do you say to these guys that there's a big push now, at least that I've seen, maybe it's been there all along, but there's all these people who are like against crunches now. Like they're against like this. There's all this complaining of it shortens your hip flexors. It does all these things. Is there any truth to any of that stuff, or is it just people constantly fighting for like market share in the fitness industry? Like I've got answers that this guy doesn't.
yeah, I guess the floor crunch I think does tighten the hip flexors. I know that's a big problem for people who sit a lot, and you don't. I got my hip flexors are really tight and they're extremely hard to stretch because the psoas muscle is one of the main muscles that links through the hip, and it's one of the stronger muscles in the body. But getting that stretched out, it takes constant work, and like I've had some problems with that, and I stretch a lot, but it's still really tight. So for core work, the best thing other than the ball crunch I like a lot because you don't use your hips. I saw something where actually that little
The wheel. I've been doing the wheel lately.
Ab wheel. I saw in some article, like I think it was a published study that activated your core the most.
Okay.
So
It's hard as shit. I tried that before.
How's your psoas, Mike?
Oh, it's not great.
it's a little short and tighten.
Hey. It's as big as anyone else's. It is very average. Thank you. Come on, I'll show you my psoas muscle right now.
All right, whip it out for the people at home.
Well,
Where is it? Help me out here. I don't know my anatomy all that well.
It inserts in the upper part of your hip and then like feeds through the middle or your lower back and then goes through into the front, like the hip.
All right, so just take off my pants is what you're saying.
Take off your pants and do a handstand.
You could do one of those two things.
You're gonna have to
calling you.
We're gonna have to
That's
have you
just
bend over.
letting me know about social media.
Ugh.
Yeah,
You're the
no.
worst. I like anti-social media.
Yeah, we got to come up with something like that.
It's pretty much just sitting alone in your room crying or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe there's also
Yelling at a
taking a lot of
wall.
medications is involved.
I hope so, or else I'm doing it wrong.
I think somebody said they did that, where like they made a Twitter and intentionally like just posted to themselves and didn't follow anybody, and then like some just out of random like people started following him. Like how I'm like literally not even trying to meet anybody or just I'm like doing this as a gag.
I can't get people to follow me on Twitter by trying my damnedest, and this son of a bitch tries to tweet to himself, and everybody fucking jumping on the bandwagon.
I have a lot of followers. Sadly, they are all cam models and porn bots.
Yes, Mike may have the record for porn bots on Twitter.
They all follow me. I'm very popular on there.
Like, this guy will not delete you. Follow him.
Because I follow people back. I'm a good guy like that. Someone follows me, I follow them.
Follow for
which
follow.
is why I can't turn on my Twitter account in front of people anymore. It is all pornography, and most of it pretty unpleasant.
I just signed up, so I haven't.
You just signed up?
Yeah, just.
Then why aren't you following me yet? Or
I guess I
following
didn't realize that everybody has a Twitter, and I'm the last.
Everyone has a Twitter.
He is the Big Burgowski,
You know
or
what's
I am
awful?
the Polak, whichever one.
Okay,
you're
you know we should
using
start
now.
going with I am the Polak because I keep forgetting to sign into the Big Burgowski, even though it's a way better, Twitter handle.
I like that one better.
Yeah, it's so much better, isn't it?
So why not just switch?
I had to switch over my contacts. I'm following like 25 people. What am I gonna do? Write down all their names?
No, just go on your other Twitter account. Go to the I am the Polak, and then just follow all the people that are on there. Seems pretty easy to me.
Just click. Just keep clicking.
Click it or
No,
ticket.
actually, I'm watching. I'm looking at some of the porn now.
All right, we lost him.
Okay.
He's useless now. The porn has infected him.
Mike is tapped out for the rest of the.
All right. So, what day is it again?
Wednesday.
There we go.
Let's not time travel ourselves and go further in the future.
Why not?
But yeah, Wednesday. Wednesday. Yeah. So what were you talking about, Burgowski?
Oh, no. I was just making a comment about being disoriented after we're looking at the porn. It was actually meant to be a joke that kind of didn't land. So,
Have you ever
All
gotten caught looking at porn at work?
I've never looked at porn at work.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'm All right, well, me neither. Sucks to be those guys.
Not
Okay,
caught,
no,
at least.
okay. Let me. I've never looked at porn at my current job or the last job I had.
Okay.
Because the last job I was in a school, I have a feeling that would ended badly for me.
keep
If I got caught,
forgetting about
I probably would have been arrested. There definitely would have been a news article about it.
Well, it wasn't. You were actually a shining star from what you told me over there.
Oh yeah.
Compared
They
to what they had
loved me.
before.
They literally begged me to stay,
And
and I told them I would, and then I just stopped calling them back.
Yeah. Gave him the whole bait and switch routine.
Don't worry, I'm just going home for a couple of months over the summer to visit my family. I never came back.
I'll take care of you, baby. Don't worry. And then you just left.
Don't worry, leave the money on the dresser.
I'm also a prostitute, in case people didn't get that.
Heartbreaker.
I don't know who would pay me, but it's Florida. They got low standards. They don't think things through.
Well, it's the prescription capital of the world. They're all
That
doped
is
up
accurate.
on Oxycontin.
They're all pretty old, too, so I guess age-wise, things start leveling off.
So how many clients do you have?
Currently?
0.
I saw 10 people today.
Oh.
Oh.
Usually I
pretty
see 8 to 12 people in a day.
Man, that's a lot of dicks. Oh, not the prostitution thing. Okay.
And why would it be dicks?
I just assumed. The gay market is a strong market. It's a very strong
It is.
market.
And their requirements are much laxer.
Yes, as we know from
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've seen them naked. don't
Mike used to accompany me. I used to do a little bit of nude male modeling, as it would be.
worry. I was his manager.
And Mike was my manager.
By that means
slash
I was-
fluffer.
I was the guy there to make sure he didn't get drugged and raped.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah, he was willing to pay me 10% to do it, so I was okay. And call me his manager, even though he technically booked all the appointments and did everything himself.
He just wanted the title.
In fact, I didn't even drive. I just came along for the ride.
Can you put that on your resume as like a legitimate thing? Like, I managed a.
I think you
male
can.
model?
I'm sure I could.
We technically got paid, so technically it was professional.
Yes, it
Professional
was.
male model management, or just models
And
in general.
at least Murray was an amazing photographer. The other ones kind of garbage.
The other ones
but
were kind of garbage.
That guy was so good. I mean,
So-
you should see the pictures that he took of him. You know, the ones that are cut to not show any nudity. They are so good.
So how much money did you make doing this?
We made pretty good money. Well, like
He made pretty good money. I made all right money.
Well, like what, $500 a session or something like that.
Yeah. I think it was between $200 and $500, depending on who it was.
Yeah, the one in Ohio I think paid more. It was like a $500.
Oh yeah, because we had to drive there so far. So yeah, he paid extra. Also, he had some weird demands.
Yeah, he had some very weird. I had to. There was one scene where I had to wear a beekeeper's outfit.
Oh
I
no,
shit you not.
a beekeeper's. He had the tool, the gloves, and the hat, and that's it.
And then there was one where I had like a big trout.
That was the weirdest one. Just him naked holding a giant trout.
For all the sexy beekeeper fetishes,
Yeah.
like not a fireman.
Yeah,
not a
and he
cop.
had like the weirdest explanation for these things. He's like, "Oh, well, I take the pictures and I put them on like
Brooches.
yeah, brooches, and I sell them at trade shows." It's like, no, you don't.
No, yeah.
you put some sort of a gay porn site. We all know it.
We all know it. We're hip to it. Whatever you want to say, sir.
Yeah, it's $500 for a couple hours or an hour or so of work. No one's arguing.
Not bad.
Well, it was actually bad. This particular photographer, he had this all done in this super small studio.
Yeah,
I shit
it
you
was
not,
about
Joe.
It's slightly bigger than the room we're in right now.
Slightly.
And
this fucking thing was like 100 degrees.
because he had 4 constant lights on, and these were not like high quality ones that were
Not strobes. These
Yeah.
were like
Yeah.
the can lights. So it's like each one of them is just pumping out a ridiculous amount of wattage. And
I had to leave the room twice
How-
just because I got so freaking
long
hot.
were
I
you-
wasn't even like in the light or anything. I was way off to the side.
Yeah.
How long were you there?
We were there for like probably an hour, maybe an hour and a half.
Yeah, due to the constant passing out.
Dude, we thought we were. There's a couple of times where we thought we were gonna pass the fuck out. It was
Yeah.
so hot, which was probably his plan.
Well,
Could be.
I remember because he had these bottles of water. Would you like some water? I'm like, I'll have one right now.
I'll
And
take
I-
an unopened. Let me check the seal on this puppy.
Well, I remember I drank it first just to make sure there was nothing in it.
Oh wait, who put this bottle of chloroform here in the room? I thought it was water.
Well, but that guy was at least nice. He was at least personable. Murray, he does a ton of photography in the Detroit
Yeah.
area.
I mean, really good photographer. Very professional.
Very professional. Probably one of the best ones that we worked with.
No, easily the best.
We
Easily.
did the worst one we did. We got a call in Canton, and we went.
hotel room?
It was a hotel, Joe. And I shit you.
That's my hometown.
Yep.
We go to this room, and this guy about I don't know, probably 400 pounds of bad mustache.
Yeah.
Answers the door.
Yeah, this guy
Sweating
was.
bullets.
And, let's just say this: there wasn't a pound of muscle on him. I mean,
And he answered, and his hands are trembling.
yeah, and he's just. And mind you, it's not hot in the room. He is pouring sweat.
He's
It is
got
the weird. It's not just normal. It's like Crisco, pretty much. I mean, this guy is just like pre-cooking himself or something.
So we get in there, and he's got like the lamp shades off the lamps, like that's his lighting. And he's got a camera that he doesn't know how to work. We start getting ready to shoot. He can't take a picture. So I'm like, okay, let me.
You showed him how to use his camera. You showed him how to do lighting because Tim's an actual photographer.
That's
and then
amazing.
you showed him like, okay, no. And he's like, I don't know how. Just do something. And it's like,
it was like.
At what point, Mike, did you just like be like, I'm taking over and
Oh, I never took over anything.
Why even go
I
to
just
a
sat
guy,
over to the
right?
side. I was there to make sure he didn't get raped.
Yeah,
I
which
did
this
my
guy
job.
had clearly his plan was to get some model in there and fuck the ever living shit out of him.
Well,
he
I
didn't
think
know
it
how
was-
to operate a camera. He didn't know. How
I
to,
think he was hoping that this was one of those things where he calls in there and it was going to be like, hey, for an extra couple $100.
right. It was certainly one of those things. But it's that once Mike and I went in there, and we walk in there because at this point we've done this so many times. We walk in there, don't even skip a beat. This guy didn't know what the fuck to think. He thought the production had arrived because we start rearranging his lights.
Move the couch, throw a sheet over it.
Moving so fast. This guy's like, okay. Like, I guess this is how it's gonna be.
Clearly not a photographer.
Right.
Not
we
even a little.
didn't. We didn't even take an hour. I think
Oh,
we were
no,
in
that
and
was
out of there in
25
like
minutes.
25 minutes tops. And Dana has brought
Oh.
a nude photo into the studio.
In case you wanted to see what Tim's naked ass looked like. Oh, by the way, there's a lot more naked stuff in there, so I wouldn't look too far. Like, no. I think they might actually remove us from YouTube. I don't think we should show that, can we?
That one I think was not too
Okay,
bad,
but
the other ones probably you don't want to go much further into.
I'm sorry.
Anyways,
hey, we got a listener. I mean, it's your girlfriend, but still.
That's at least market right there. Right?
There you go. I mean, there's some sort of something there. There's a little bit of a delay, so I'm now just seeing you put my ass on the camera on this.
All right. Good stuff.
But those were all Murray's pictures, actually. So
Oh, yeah.
they're of reasonable quality. And
No, they're better than reasonable. They are very good quality.
very good quality. And his calendar, I guess we'll give him a shout out. He does a provocateur calendar, and he also does one called Hung. Now, I am not hung, but there are a certain level of enhancements that they do post-production. So, they help a brother out. Anyways, that was the story. And Mike was my manager for that, and he had to provide me with many...
How did we get onto this topic?
I have no idea. Oh, it was the porn bots, and then...
Porn bots. And,
Mike
Okay.
he was good at queuing up porn, so...
That's right.
He
That
was
was my job.
indispensable.
Also,
so complete.
I found him porn to watch.
Maybe not quite a random side note, but have you ever tried Bikram yoga, the hot yoga?
You know
That
what?
super hot.
I
shit?
was invited to try it. I have not tried it because I don't handle heat very well. I'm not a hot weather person, and my mom and my sister have both tried it, and they both times have had to stop because they're like on the brink of passing out.
Your sister's in very good shape.
They're in pretty good shape. I'm not into the hot stuff, and I get lightheaded, especially if I don't eat real well before. I kind of have low blood sugar, so I don't even want to try it. Like, I get nervous about it.
Yeah, they say like. So I did it a couple times. I did like the whole week trial, and then you're supposed to go like every day, and I only went every other day or so.
Okay.
But they do say like
So lazy.
drink a lot of water and stuff, and it was an interesting experience. I was able to do the whole thing like straight off, but there was
Nice.
there was one point where maybe in the first one where I was like almost to the point where like I needed to tap out, and then we like switch poses. The poses were not super difficult, but it's 105 or whatever with 90% humidity or what.
There's
Like,
a damn sweat box going on
yeah,
there.
I mean.
That place can't smell pleasant.
Yeah, that was the other thing. If I didn't play hockey and like was just used to that smell, like I'm actually surprised a lot of people.
So it does smell. I didn't know
Yeah,
if they like
I mean, you go on the-
sanitized it and made
I
it
think they
smell all
Well,
nice.
I mean, they probably try to, but come on, the
Yeah.
people are sweating their balls off.
Yeah, I mean you can walk
And you've
down
got
the
to
hallway
twist
into
in
the
that
place.
position, that kind of heat. People are farting. It's just gonna happen.
I didn't have such a bad experience, but I know somebody else was telling me that they went to that and like some dude just popped a boner in the middle of the class. Just, like wearing like because I mean you wear shorts or whatever, so like there's no restriction. So like sometimes that happens when you relax to like start out like you do that little relaxy lay down and
he
then
sounds
you get
very relaxed.
Yeah, he's probably looking at some chick's ass up there and getting all riled
He's
up.
probably looking at Joe.
yeah,
He
there
could
was,
be.
like,
Maybe Joe. Maybe he is checking you out. Maybe that's a compliment.
that I wasn't in that episode.
Oh,
That happened
okay.
to me. That was someone else. But
To another lucky guy, I guess.
It
Whoever
happens.
you are out there, good job. Getting the class to stand at attention for you.
that's I mean, that seems kind of hard to do at 105, but
Seems
I
kind of
don't-
hard to do at most temperatures, but all right.
Yeah.
But although I think
Just
almost
in a
anything's
group
hard to
like
do at
that.
105. I mean, at that point, what is easy? I mean, I think laying down would probably be pretty difficult at that point. Be like, oh man,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm a
laying
little
down.
worn out walking
wish I
in
could
here
stand
today.
back up, but I can't.
Yeah,
It's
you
105.
I definitely felt just weird afterwards. Like not high, not just like other
disconnected?
like just kind of like loopy and not like after a normal workout where you're like feel pretty energized or
Yeah, because you're in so much heat, you're probably giving yourself mild brain damage.
it's possible.
See, that's
no.
shit I don't like. Like, I don't like feeling, like, weird. Like, I start to associate that with, like, not being well kind of thing. So it always kind of, like, freaks me out a little bit. Like, I just, was it yesterday? I had my first, I've taken about 3 yoga classes in my entire life. And the 4th class I've took was yesterday. I actually started on, like, a regular class program. So I'm going to go once a week. I know it's probably not going to do
Rec
much.
center?
Yeah, just right
Okay.
at the rec center. My flexibility is terrible.
Yeah,
terrible.
Mine is not very good either, and I really need to work on it because I lift a lot of weights and just over the last couple of years I've tried to take shortcuts and balance my workout.
Roids.
Also, no, naturally
Right?
He's got
that
small
would
balls.
that would be kind of cool, but
With small
expensive.
balls?
No,
Oh,
the roids thing.
okay.
I don't know. Have you ever tried anything like that?
Steroids?
Yeah.
I had bought a
I remember.
I had bought a vial of trenbolone once
From Mexico, from a guy that
from
you kind of
Mexico from a guy that I kind of knew, but I never ended up taking it.
knew. Do you remember why, or at least the reason you told me?
Well, one, I couldn't get syringes was the first thing.
Well, they have.
Oh,
some,
you never brought that up to me. He when he shook the bottle,
Yes.
you see a couple small black flecks in there, and it made him nervous.
Yeah, I'm like,
yeah.
oh, this doesn't look like it was made in a sterile environment. I'm not shooting this into my ass. So.
that was the only thing stopping him. All that and the lack of syringes.
But it's one of those things, and I think a lot of people would be lying if they haven't said they have not been at least tempted.
Right.
People who have lifted, competed, and things like that. I think that at some point everyone is tempted with, maybe I should give this a whirl. Like, is it as bad as everybody says, or is it as good? Because now there's a lot of
Seiko
pro
says a
steroid
lot of
thing.
good things about it.
It seems like it is not nearly as bad as it's been made out to be, and I've looked into it a little bit. It is pretty expensive. One, it's super expensive, and two, it's not legal. So
Right.
and you have to get stuff from like Turkey, but they do have some cool like topical stuff where you don't have to inject it. But yeah, like the whole like stigma around it is because people abused it and
Right.
like that one. I don't know if you ever seen that one guy who had like the biggest biceps in the world.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Billy
I've seen-
Big Gun.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he just was ejecting it like straight in his bicep, and then it like exploded.
Yeah, there was a documentary, the man whose arms
Right.
exploded, and yeah, he had like a hematoma in his arm, and he was like trying to twist it, and the crazy fucker videotaped the entire
Yeah,
thing. Ugh, the thing like just literally just explodes on camera. It's absolutely disgusting. But he
Right.
went to prison for
that?
I know he was arrested for distributing. He was like a big pusher of like steroids.
Who would ever buy steroids from him? Who would look at him and go, "That's a guy I want to listen to. I want to
Yeah,
be
but
like
I mean,
him."
If your biceps are like the biggest, I think he
Yeah,
has
I
a
mean,
world
they were
record, right?
like up to like past his shoulders.
I
I
don't know
mean,
why
it was
you want that.
absurd.
Well, it's kind of funny. Like steroids is one of the things that's kind of weird, and it's kind of weird that he got busted. And it's weird because most of the guys that abuse steroids are cops. A lot of cops take steroids. I can't tell you how many cops that I've seen that in high school are one way, and then I see these guys later on, and they're fucking yoked. I mean, they're just, and it's like, there's no way, guys. Like, there's no way that is possible. Like, without going on the sauce. Like, nobody just. Is it possible to put on that much muscle, Joe? Like, can you put on 20, 30 pounds of muscle, just naturally?
It depends on your age and like how long you've been doing it. So, I mean, if in high school, like once you're out of that range where you can easily put on muscle, then it gets pretty hard. And I think there is a couple maximum like genetic amount that you can a normal person can go to. So like for my body size, it was like 190 or 195 at 10% body fat.
Kind of like your genetic ceiling of,
right,
of lean
like
muscle
you
mass.
Just at some point, like the couple rate limiting things are like how much protein can you stuff in your
right
and digest
in order to synthesize. Yeah.
Right, and just to keep that synthesis naturally up, you have to lift pretty heavy and pretty frequently, so like that'll max out at some point. And a lot of bodybuilders, like after in their 20s, they at first they get pretty big, but then you only can gain like a pound or two a year, and like a pound a year is
right.
actually been like pretty good. But
all those bodybuilders are on stuff. I mean,
yeah, they're either if they were the natural guys, like they were football guys who in high school, like they just had the genetics.
Hold on. Here's Alistair Overeem over 5 years.
Yeah, that's kind of something's going on there.
He claimed that he was part of a Chinese experiment.
Yeah.
When he got popped for steroids, and he made up this crazy story that like this Chinese general had brought him in to be made a super soldier, like this crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
It was pretty nuts.
Yeah.
Guy just kept getting bigger to where he just started to look like he was starting to become like a balloon man. I mean, just everything just looked inflated. Like, I mean, he was starting to lack even definition. He was just inflating.
Doesn't even look good.
But a lot of these guys are on like very high doses. They're going like hundreds of % more than what is normal. What would your opinion be like on a testosterone replacement therapy where they're not really, you're not juicing up to the gills, but they're bringing you up to the higher end of the good spectrum?
Yeah, that seems, I mean, almost natural, because if you already have the hormone in your body, the negative effects probably are, if you're on something for a while, your body will start cutting down on its natural production because it's
right.
there. So like you have that as if you do that a lot for long term, that's probably a pretty high risk. But if you're in the normal physiological range, I think is 200 to 800 milligrams per deciliter, or whatever it is. I was tested once and I was on the lower end, but it was when I had some sleep problems and stuff, and I was just seeing like what was going on. I don't know if I was working out as much, but working out is one of the ways you can naturally enhance it. Lifting heavy, cold showers, high fat diet.
All right, I got the high fat diet part down. Not so much the cold showers.
Yeah, my cold showers that much.
I've been doing that. Do you guys know who Tim Ferriss is?
Yeah, the 4-hour work week.
4-hour work week for our body.
Yep.
So I bought both those books, and I've been trying out a lot of his stuff, and pretty much everything I've tried has worked.
Really?
Yeah.
He's got a good kind of like a bulking program that he does.
That one I started. So that one that was the one that didn't work very well because it was mostly my fault.
Didn't work for me either.
But for the one part was I got sick. I just got a really bad cold, and because the whole theme of that was like a 4-hour per month.
Right.
I just kind of fell out of the habit, and I kept the diet. My diet still was like, I got to eat all. I love eating food. My God, I'm just gonna drink milk all day, and then I got sick, and like other stuff happened, and I just kind of fell out of the wagon. So I stopped.
The trial didn't get finished.
The trial didn't get finished. It was not a good experiment, but the diet works really well.
I just can't. I've got such a lactose intolerance that I can drink it, but man, it's gonna fucking wreck.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to eat like a pound of chicken.
Dude, I've been trying. I've been on a diet. Maybe you don't know, but I was on this elimination diet.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that.
Dude, it fucking sucked. I lost like 30 pounds on it.
Wow.
I gained 15 of it back, and I've still got a lot to go. But my whole thing, I've always been a smaller frame guy. I've always wanted to put on muscle, and I can't remember anything that worked. And dude, we must have tried every
I remember
fucking
him
thing.
really taking a dangerous amount of protein, creatine, and the only thing he would eat like 4 chicken breasts a day, every day.
And I think the key is I was not getting enough. Although I was eating a lot of protein, I wasn't eating enough calories.
Yeah, if you gotta also put your body in anabolic mode by having extra calories. And for myself, like my dinner today was like 14 ounces of chicken and a protein shake, which takes forever to eat and sucks.
Right.
And I think, and that's on a weight loss diet portion. So I don't know how, like, to get 3,500 calories and that much protein it's tough.
Dude, I've been eating, I think I told you, I've been eating Burger King, 2 double cheeseburgers every day, French fries. Then after that, I have a half a chicken at Boston Market with the sides and the cornbread for breakfast. I'm having oatmeal, and then I go to McDonald's, and I have hotcakes. Wow. So I'm, like, packing it in as much as I know. I can't
like
keep this up forever.
What a dick.
But because I know it's got to be it's got to be affecting some cholesterol. Oh no, now there's like all this new information that's saying it's like, oh well, that's all that stuff doesn't actually clog your arteries and all this.
Definitely. So so my 1 degree is in human nutrition, and then after reading Tim's book, I kind of was like, hey, how does this work? Because I never heard of anything like this, and went back and examined a lot of the evidence. So do you remember his 4-hour diet, the weight loss diet, right?
Correct.
The cyclical one. So I went and I did a lot of research on that, and it seems like that is probably the best, best way to lose weight and maintain muscle. It
was because that's basically that diet was basically my elimination diet, which was not a low carb but a slow carb. Mm-hmm. So I was getting rid of all basically high glycemic foods. Mm-hmm.
Because like a high glycemic index thing.
It was because I started doing what they call the Patino diet. Dr. Patino had come up with a diet of basically kind of an easier way to organize the glycemic index. Basically, a glycemic index diet, and I was doing that because I was and DeCarlo can attest. I was eating all the time, and if I wasn't eating all the time, I would start to feel like lightheaded. If I skipped like 2 hours, I would get lightheaded. I'd be kind of get a little bit like shaky and on edge. So I was always running around eating. When I wasn't eating, I was drinking like Ensure things. Dude, I thought I had some kind of like hypoglycemia or some shit, which I may have.
Your body, well,
he's a diabetic.
It's possible that you have something like
lose
that.
A foot.
So I also experimented with a low carb diet, and that's probably the best for just weight loss, like in general, like the Atkins type approach. Even though I don't know, in nutrition school we were like taught like not to do that because of medicine is very super ultra conservative. Mm-hmm. So like if there's any potential of like, oh, you could have kidney problems because it's high protein, but like that only happens if you already have kidney problems. So don't do that if you have
like
kidney
a ketosis type of
And ketosis is fine. Ketosis is completely natural. Like it's just completely misunderstood. Like because ketosis versus ketoacidosis, like diabetic ketoacidosis, the levels of ketones in your blood is maybe like 10 times higher than it normally should be. And actually, so when you're on a low carb diet, when you first switch off, you're going to have the blood sugar problems because your body isn't used to producing sugar on its own. So,
well, I was having those problems on a regular diet.
Huh.
So they were like, well, you should probably switch over to low glycemic foods that aren't going to dump you off the shelf kind of thing. That will kind of stay in your system and digest longer. And it worked. Dude, I got on this slow carb diet that Ferris says, and it was working. Like I wasn't getting those spikes of blood sugar and everything, and I was more on an even keel. But dude, the fucking weight was coming off. Like,
see that?
It freaked me. I was like, shit, it's coming off a little too quick.
That's what most people are like, oh yeah, I'm losing weight. And
like, most people, that's like the greatest thing.
This is what you do to lose weight. But yeah, not if you're,
Yeah.
So in your case, you just have to like put butter on it.
Dude, apparently the only thing that's been working, like, and that sounds fucking crazy, and people look at me like I'm crazy, but before I go to work out, dude, if I eat like regular food, like a clean meal, and I go work out, dude, I bottom out. I bottom out every time. And I feel like shit. I got no energy. But if I come into the gym and I pound 2 double cheeseburgers and a big old handful of fries and a Gatorade, dude, I feel like a fucking superhero.
Yeah, one of my best workouts in the last little while, I went to Gaucho's at the steakhouse.
Oh, okay.
And ate. I mean, we were there for like 2 hours and just gorged myself on meat. And then later on in the day, I worked out and I almost tied my personal best for push-ups at like 70.
Yeah.
And my record is 72 just in a row. And like I didn't normally you practice that and it was just suddenly I'm like I got normally where I bottom out at like 50. Like it was just like you feel fine and here's 20 more push-ups.
Right. Yeah, it's I feel like I gotta have not just the protein, because protein goes through me pretty quick. Like if I just have like chicken or something or a steak, it's gone in like 2 seconds. But if I have like a lot of fat, and if I got like a lot of like really high carbs and fat, that stuff seems to stick with me longer. Mike, we used to work out all the time.
Yes.
We worked out originally at Powerhouse, then we switched to Fitness USA, and then
What's our Powerhouse for? Well, we were at Gold's.
or
Then
Gold's.
Powerhouse.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
We were at Powerhouse for a minute.
Yeah.
But I mean, we were only at Gold's for what, 2 weeks?
Yeah, a couple of weeks or something.
Yeah. Then we were at a Senate Coney Island, and we won one free week at Fitness USA in this roulette machine. I know.
And they fucking
Big
took us
winners.
hook, line, and sinker on that one.
Well, I think technically you won it, and I came along and was like, yeah, sure, your friend can have the free week too.
Of course. Why wouldn't they?
And you both signed 3-year contracts or something?
2.5-year contracts.
2.5 years.
Yeah, I got screwed on Bally's. I mean, I like the gym.
Gyms
but
are so much different now, too.
Yeah, they are so much better. But I started out at Bally's, which I liked. But
Lucky for you, Bally's, we could only work out every other day.
Yeah. Not only that, when things were never cleaned, and when I mean that hot tub was disgusting.
Well, they had women's days and men's days.
Yeah, that's how Fitness
they
USA
fucking
works.
split it up.
That's
See,
weird.
Because there's only one
unbeknownst
locker
to
room.
us when we were signing up, and they explained it to us, but I didn't 100% get it because it didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah,
and I can
it's
remember
weird.
like the next day I was like, "Oh, Mike, we going to the gym?" I'm like, we can't. It's Women's Day." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Remember when they said?" I was like, "Oh," I was like, for some reason I thought they meant like the cardio equipment, like outside the gym there was like a schedule or something, but then it was like
classes or
yeah, I thought it was something like that. Like I
They didn't
heard
offer
him
classes in there. Are you kidding me?
I heard him properly, but in my head I'm like, oh, he can't mean that part of the day, one day is women and one day is men. Like that's dumb. And then sure enough, that's exactly what they meant. But we had already signed up and we were on the hook.
Well, I remember when I first went in there, I thought it was odd. I'm like, oh, there's only guys here. And there's only one locker room, and it's not labeled men nor women. There's just a locker room.
Yeah,
So I thought it was just like a men's gym until they explained it, which apparently not everyone got. But I'm not going to lie. The guy that sold us on it was really good.
He was a fucking hell of a salesman.
Glenn, great guy. But see, at that time, there were 3 trainers there, slash salesmen, and they were really good trainers. They were giant. One of them was Murray, was this freaking kickboxer. I don't
actually think he was
he claimed to be a ranked kickboxer.
Maybe he was. I
mean,
don't know.
just juiced into the gills, clearly, because this guy was enormous. And, so it's like, hey, when he tells you something, you kind of want to listen. He had Corey, who was just in, like,
he's a male
absurd-
dancer now, by the way. He's in
Murray?
he's in
Yeah,
the
I
Men
remember.
in Motion
I
male dance troupe. So good luck to you, Murray.
Good for him.
Yeah, good for him. It's nice to see his life took a real good turn.
Wow, call him out on the podcast.
What? I said a
Actually,
good turn.
It's got to be a good turn.
It's better than working at Fitness USA. It's a shithole.
Yeah, I mean, you're saying you can make $500 just taking photos.
Fuck
in an
yeah,
hour, right?
dude! I bet
Yeah, that guy's
Murray's.
probably making more money than me. I mean,
bet Murray's banking on the fucking photo biz. If you're out there, Murray, and you're listening, give me a buzz. I can hook you up with photographers that'll pay you all fucking day.
They will rape you.
Way much better body than I do. So he will. He would do well.
yeah, but it was a good time over there.
Yeah, it was a good time, and then
We didn't do anything right, but we were there.
Yeah,
So
we
that was
showed
something.
up.
Yeah.
But you know what? Early on, as you know, when you first start working out, that's when you make all your big gains. Like
Right.
your strength like doubles. You're
Right.
like,
Oh,
oh,
I remember.
shit. Like,
Man, how much
Yeah.
weight I was lifting.
You're-
I think it tripled within the first couple of months I was there. I mean,
Yeah, that's-
just from nothing to, wow, okay, I'm making some, progress until, I plateaued.
that's actually mostly neurological. So, like, when you first started, your body kind of has a mechanism to protect yourself against lifting too much. And because you can literally, if you lifted as max, the muscle could do, like, you'd rip the muscle from the tendon and just, some guys have done that. But when you first start out, it's just like the nerves being able to contract and getting used to that. So it's not actually like your muscles are not growing.
Well, thank you for
very,
ruining
very
my
much.
experience.
But
You're a real fun time
the
here,
strength
Joe.
gains are real, like strength gains, like it's legit.
yeah, the old beginner gains. It doesn't
Yep.
get any better than that. You think, God, if this continues
Well,
at its
on a
current rate,
linear
I'll be
scale.
a fucking powerhouse in no time.
Right. But you can design your program depending on your goal, like around.
Oh,
the
we didn't
max
have a
or whatever.
program. Well, nor goals.
Well,
So,
no.
I mean,
That's not true. We did have a program. You know what they did? One thing that they did do well is they gave you an assessment, which is in the assessment. Yeah, it wasn't the most full assessment, but they gave you a body fat assessment, and they gave you like a strength assessment, and they gave you had a card with your name on it that was kept at the front desk, and you were supposed to take this card and fill it out. We did that for a while. And we did
Yeah.
notice, and they would measure you and everything. So you go, you get
like every
you
month,
get measured,
right? At the beginning of every month.
Yeah, and it was one of those things like when the gym was good, when it had Murray, when it had Glenn, and when it had Corey, they were kind of on top of it, and they would say,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, you guys got to get." Once those guys left,
Yeah, and the
It
great
all
thing with those
fucking
guys,
went
if they
downhill.
weren't selling something, if they weren't actually directly selling with somebody, they were out there on the floor helping people work out.
Yeah,
that's the one thing they sold you on was the fact that there's personal trainers there for free that will work with you, and they liked us because we were kind of funny guys, and a lot of other people they were really really old, so they liked working out with us. So it was never hard to find someone to train us.
Yeah, that's definitely one thing that personal trainers should do, and I didn't do it long enough to get really used to doing that. But just going up at random and saying like, hey, that's a really good exercise. Like, I should show you some other stuff or whatever. And a couple of guys I've tried out too. And like one guy was like, yeah, I'm a former Olympic champion. I mean, like he was old, but like lifting pretty good. So I'm like, oh, now I feel like an ass because it's like I invented this.
show you a little, show you some pointers, sir.
Well, then maybe you should keep your elbows straight, sir.
I mean, his form wasn't all
walk
that.
away.
His form wasn't all that good, but he was like really pretty old. So I'm like, oh,
Yeah, he's not gonna listen.
Throw
to
him
you.
a bone. Yeah. But Joe, where does it go wrong though? When do these companies start pushing it to where like you're not so much a trainer as you become this like salesman, but not in a good way. You become like
Yeah.
the salesman that everyone wants to avoid. But these gyms in their head, they have it thinking like that's what people want.
Unfortunately, it's the only way to make money in the business because I can teach you how to work out and maybe I can actually explain it and maybe let's count the words. A squat, a lunge, a press, a pull, and a press, and then progressive tension overload. I mean, like 10 words.
Right.
So that's how you design you do a squat, a lunge, a push, and a pull, and you hit every muscle group basically. And then progressive tension overload basically means you progress over time, and
Right.
the tension is your stimulus for at least the muscle building part, which is most what people want to do. And I can
Right.
teach you that. I just taught you that, and then I can demonstrate how to do a squat, a lunge, and a push and pull in a minute.
Right.
So pay me $60 an hour to do that.
Well, I think what most people want to do is they need someone to keep them accountable.
Push them.
And to push them because one, not everybody has a workout partner. Some people
Right.
do, but
Yeah,
a lot
I
of
mean,
people don't.
A lot of people are there to just pay you $60 an hour to talk to.
Right.
And like, cause I had a client who was like an older lady and, she just wanted,
Tried to get in your pants, didn't she, Joe?
I had one other girl to try to do that, but I said this was a breach of my, confidentiality.
These are my
Confidentiality.
These are my ethics.
Because I'm gonna have to tell everybody.
Yeah.
These are my ethics here. Don't try to bend them, ma'am. These ethics will not bend, much like my erect penis.
But it will break.
You were pushing beyond the bounds.
So what do you do in a situation like that? One, you want to. You want to keep them as a client, right?
Yeah, she texted me out. It was like totally lame, right? Like don't do it that way. I mean, girls, I mean, right? They don't have experience in doing that. So I mean, if you get they kind of ask you out as like a 12-year-old would.
Yeah.
But I can't blame them. It's like not something they normally.
Nothing I can do. But yeah, it's like, oh man, that's a sticky situation. I don't know. I feel like I feel like you go on the date just to give it the old college try. Like, all right, you know what? I know I'm not supposed to do this, but let's get this out of the way. And you know what?
Yeah.
I just feel like we have more of a friends connection here than more of a romantic connection.
Yeah,
Are you feeling that too?
I guess if I thought we were, if she was cooler or whatever, and like, I don't know, wasn't
she older? Was she younger?
No, I mean, she was maybe the same age as me, but she had a kid and like she brought the kid and like kind of didn't treat the kid very nice.
She's a MILF.
Like, which is
a bad MILF.
Having
apparently.
a kid is not a problem, but just like the way she's treating a kid, like I don't know.
It shows a lot about personality. They say the way you treat a kid and the way you talk to a wait staff person are like the two cues of like how somebody is.
Mm-hmm.
And like
I talk to old people like they're children. Is that
Mike's the worst. Okay, let me tell you what Mike does.
No. First of all, I am super nice to wait staff.
He is.
They
I feel like I am.
mistake something I do
Yes.
as an insult in some way.
Yeah, I'll give Mike that. He's actually extremely nice and very generous with wait staff.
Yeah, I always
very
try
good
to be. I
tipper.
appreciate everything they do and they tip pretty well.
However, he does one thing that if the waitress
I
or whoever
think
didn't
you are correct.
Didn't know that Mike was such a nice guy, they might take him for an asshole. Because sometimes when he tries to get a waiter or a waitress's attention, he does the snap.
First of all, I rarely do. That is super rare. I've done it like twice.
And then
But sometimes it's really hard because they're super busy and you're like, I'm out.
it is. You want to make a noise to get their attention. But the other one that he does, which he'll probably disagree with me
Okay,
now.
I disagree that anyone would notice this or assume it's an insult.
But
the snap would be considered an insult. Probably.
he does do like if they're like, do you need any change? He does the no.
I'm like, no. I shake my head like no.
Yeah, I try to watch that, but sometimes you're in the middle of a conversation.
You are. I'm not blaming him. I'm not blaming him because he's one of the nicest people. He's one of the nicest people you get at your table, 100% for sure. Even if there's something wrong, he won't even complain. Like he'll deal with it.
Well, it depends on how wrong it is. Like
Yeah.
I mean, I have sent a steak back for being massively undercooked once. I mean, it was it's like they barely cooked it.
Yeah, but that becomes something else. That's like I don't want to eat like a raw piece of meat kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, generally, if I got a crappy waitress, she's just gonna get a 20% tip.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like I said, he's. Well, anyways, I'm looking at the time.
There's one thing I want to talk about.
Okay, go ahead.
The UFC. We didn't talk about it at all.
No.
And it was a great fucking card.
Yeah, it was a pretty good card.
You nibble our time with your insightful and thought-provoking conversation, Joe. You dick.
I'm talking about training for the UFC.
Were you?
Sort of. That was the goal.
All right. I'm a huge Dominic Cruz fan, and he won a very close decision.
Some people say he didn't win. Some people
and
say
they'd
that
be
he did.
legitimate in that because it was really freaking close. I
That's
personally
two
don't.
in a row. That's Lawler, and then there's Dominic Cruz.
No. Nobody thought Lawler won.
I'm just saying two very close calls.
I don't think Lawler was all that close. That what I thought was pretty clear robbery. Well, I'm sorry. Every online site I checked scored it for Condit. And they all scored
those
it
are all websites owned by Carlos Condit Inc.
Well, I mean, sure, carloscondit.com and its subsidiaries, of course, they own all of them. Never trust Condit. Okay, but not every single one of them scored a fight exactly the same way, exact same rounds. There was no variance really in how they scored things. Just everyone loves Robbie Lawler, and it was an amazing fight. So no one really put up too much of a stink that he won. This one was very close. Almost all the rounds I thought were very open to interpretation. The only round I thought was solidly in one fighter's favor was round 4, which I thought T.J. Dillashaw definitely won.
Yeah,
and
I thought
oddly
he
enough,
did too.
one of the judges who scored it for Cruz gave Cruz the 4th round, which is shocking to me because he gave Dillashaw the 1st and the 5th.
Yeah, that's fucking.
Yeah, that doesn't even
bizarre.
make any. It's like he was
Sometimes
just
I wonder
guessing.
what type of fight these guys are watching, because these are like,
I wonder if they're even paying attention sometimes.
you have to get licensed to be a judge. Like, you can't
we
just be
just
like
figured
some
this out.
schmuck that
You
comes
remember
off
the last
street.
episode?
Yeah,
We looked it up. $100.
They could also just be trying to make it look fair. And they know
Well,
who's going to win.
you have to score each round at the end of the round. You don't get to
Right.
do it at the end of the fight or anything. So
That's-
he watched
yeah.
the 4th round and said, Cruz won the 4th round. And as big a fan as I am of Cruz, he kind of got his ass kicked in the 4th round. I
Yeah,
mean,
he had
it
a
was
very
pretty
rough 4th round.
one-sided. I mean, that was the round where I thought Dillashaw really started to take over. Even the 5th round I thought could have gone to Cruz, even though everyone gave it to Dillashaw.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's one of those things, it's like, okay, I agree with the decision. I think it should have gone split decision because it was that close of a fight. No matter which way it went, it should have been a split. But the fact that when you actually look how the rounds were scored, one of the judges that gave it to Cruz clearly is an idiot.
yeah. There's some fuckery going on with the judging.
I mean, the other two, they just
Definitely.
varied on the first round. One to get the first round to Cruz, one to get the first round to Dillashaw. That's what separated their scorecards. Then you had the other guy who, if I remember correctly, was 2, 3, and 4 he gave to Cruz. I'm like, okay, I agree with 2 and 3. 4, not so much.
yeah, Matt Mitrione had that big bulging eyeball. At the end.
Where, he's probably blind at this point.
Yeah.
But it's all good. It's all good.
And then, unfortunately, our boy Darren Cruikshank did not come out
That
victorious.
Was a heartbreaker.
Against
I had
Paul
him up
Felder.
2 rounds.
Yeah,
into
he was
that.
winning 2 rounds.
On our scorecards, on the official scorecards, only one judge had him up 2 rounds. The other judges had it tied. So it means in that 3rd round, even had gone to a decision, he would have lost a split.
Yeah, and it was not a good 3rd round.
Oh no! He would have had to
kind of come apart.
in the last minute. Would have had to like finish him in order.
Well, he looked very tired, And, it's there's a lot of things. He had a lot of bursts, and sometimes when you have a lot of bursts and you get the adrenaline, you see him kind of wobble a little bit. Your adrenaline goes up, and you're like, oh man, this is it. Like, this is where I'm going to finish it off. And unfortunately, if you spend the tank.
Plus, I think he spent a lot of energy getting out those submission attempts from Felder.
Yeah, there was a couple
yeah.
good lock-ons that he had, and then
he had
start
one good
to
lock-on
panic,
every round.
And you.
Well, it didn't even seem like he panicked. He handled it pretty well.
But you gotta.
But I mean, he slammed his way out of the first
Yeah.
one to guillotine choke. He kind of had to kind of wrench his way out of the inverted triangle. So I mean, there was a lot of stuff there that I think he spent quite a bit of energy on.
Yeah.
In that 3rd round, I mean, that Felder got that takedown pretty easy. It was clearly it was pretty clear Cruikshank was tired at that point.
Yeah, he said in the post fight that he felt that he had he was pretty much gassed, and that
but that one was a heartbreaker. I mean, because going to that 3rd round, I'm like, man, Cruikshank's got this. He's got this.
Yeah, it was looking very promising.
Yeah, he was looking good that whole fight for the most part. Well, he's looking good on his feet. Every time I went to the ground, I think he should have kept on his feet more. Because
That did become apparent.
He
Yeah,
had trouble on the ground with Felder.
It started to become apparent. Yeah, that the takedowns were not going well.
He kept getting caught in submissions every time. I mean, he had trouble getting the takedown, and when he did, do it, he got caught in submission attempts. I mean, he always got out of them, but usually after that, it would either be near the end of the round, so he wouldn't be able to get much done, or the fight would get back to their feet.
Yeah, and it's tough. When you're in there, it's a whole different thing, and things
yeah.
are happening so quick. When you look at it from the outside, though, and it's like, man, you really think back and like maybe we don't do as many, stay away from the takedowns and work on, because he was taking it to him on the feet. It was just
man, he was
that's
giving it
where
to him,
it started to go wrong, was when it started to transition to the takedowns. But
I mean, he had a really good takedown that first round. He just got stuck in that guillotine choke, but he managed to slam his way out of it.
right,
Really
but then
kinda forced
again,
him out.
that takes a lot out of you.
Yeah, because he had to kind of hold him up there for a while because that was a big slam he went for. And but the only other problem was that when he was on top, he didn't do a great deal of damage. He did a lot more damage when he was on his feet.
Yeah.
I thought he was very successful standing up. I would have liked to have seen more stand up in that.
Yeah. That's all I got, Mr. B. You got anything else?
Nothing. I can't wait till next week.
All right. Joe, thanks for coming on. We'll have to have you on more often.
Sure.
It was definitely good. I liked it. Good flow. Good flow.
Yep. He led to a lot of interesting conversations about nutrition and, full frontal male nudity.
Absolutely. That's where it, it really
Those are the two
balances.
things Joe really brings to the table.
Top things in my mind usually.
Joe, anything you want to shout out? Anything
Any
at
famous
all?
last words? Because
Hello.
you're going to be murdered.
Hello to the internet, and I love you.
All right.